One of the things that just became crystal clear to me a couple of months ago or so, as I was really thinking through this, is one of the big determiners as I was poring over the scriptures and doing some study. As I was poring over the scriptures, one of the things that became so crystal clear to me is the one telltale sign of where we're going to spend eternity, where you're going to spend eternity, could be asked, and the answer would be the determiner. The question is, do you love the Lord? Not everybody that wants heaven wants Jesus. Not everyone that supposedly has prayed a prayer wants Jesus. And what determines whether or not we are going to be in heaven or hell is essentially, what did you do with Jesus? Someone who can claim that they have said a prayer, someone who can claim that they've got some time in their past where they've said a prayer, but there is no fruit, no evidence. Maybe they show up to church, but there's no real legitimate conviction over sin when they sin. There's no real love for the Lord. And I'm not saying a warm, fuzzy feeling. I'm talking about, like Paul, that I may know him, like Moses, that I may experience, Lord, please show me your glory in Exodus 33. Those who we see in Scripture wanted to know the Lord. They wanted to know him. He was the one that as they became to know him more, they wanted him more. That's the characteristic of someone who's saved. Someone who claims that they have said a prayer and never has a desire to enjoy the Lord has every reason to doubt whether they're truly saved. In Matthew chapter 7, I believe the most frightening text in Scripture, and I'm not using hyperbole, I am genuinely meaning this, I believe, is the most frightening text in Scripture, says this. Matthew 7:1, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father. Well, what's the will of the Father? That you would believe in him. And it's not a past event, it is a continually believing. Well, Pastor, I don't know it. I know that I love the Lord now, but I don't remember exactly the day. Well, you know what? If you are loving the Lord now and enjoying him and trusting in him, you're saved. You're saved. It's not just a past event. We have turned it into a past event. As long as you prayed a prayer back there, then it really doesn't matter how you live. You're saved. That is completely foreign to Scripture. Completely foreign. If we have genuinely been saved, then we will continually be believing in him. He who began a good work will be faithful to complete it. Be faithful to complete it. And so, yes, we could say, okay, has there been that time? But even more importantly, right now, is there evidence? Is there evidence in my life that I genuinely love the Lord, that I know him more now than whenever I supposedly first believed, that I'm enjoying him more now, that I want to pursue holiness more now than when I supposedly first believed? Not everybody that says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Verse 22, on that day many will say to me, Lord, Lord, didn't we do all these wonderful things? Didn't we prophesy in your name and drive out demons in your name and do many miracles in your name? And then I will announce to them, what? I never knew you. It really does boil down to relationship. If you don't want to know the Lord, he's going to say, I never knew you. I never knew you. Eternity is where you get what you wanted regarding Jesus. Is Jesus irrelevant to you? I'm not asking you, have you said a prayer? I'm saying, is he irrelevant to you? Do you really spend time with him throughout the day? Is it something where you desire to spend time in his word, desire to spend time in prayer? Does it really convict you whenever you sin and stumble into sin? Is this something, this desire to become more like him and to be pleasing to him, is this something that's going on inside of you? Do you want to know him? Well, don't be surprised if when you stand before him, it says, welcome. We knew him. He knows us. Heaven is where we get what we want, and we get to enjoy him forever. Someone who claims that they have said a prayer, but there's no desire to know him. There's no chasing after holiness. There's no real conviction over sin. There's no desire to know him. Well, don't be surprised if on the day of judgment, he looks back and says, well, I never knew you either. So I will send you to a place where you never have to be bothered with me again. By the way, that place is called hell. I believe that's why this church was dead. It had an unregenerate congregation.